The cell was small, dark, and cold. A single human sat in chains, his back pressed against the metal wall. His clothes were torn, his face bruised, but his eyes were steady. The aliens thought he was broken. They thought he was nothing more than a forgotten prisoner. To them, humanity was weak, backward, and unworthy of respect. But deep inside the ship, something else thought differently. The alien guards walked past the cell without even looking inside. To them, humans were insects, pests caught during raids on distant colonies. The guards laughed among themselves, speaking in their sharp, clicking language. They never cared if the human understood. They never imagined he could be dangerous. They never guessed that one prisoner could change the galaxy. The ship groaned as it drifted through the void. The walls seemed to shiver with life, as though the steel itself could feel. The human noticed it first, the faint hum that wasn't there before. It was soft at first, almost like a vibration in the bones. Then it grew louder. The lights flickered above him. The alien guards didn't notice, but the human did. He leaned forward, pulling against his chains, listening. A sound echoed through the hall. It wasn't metal. It wasn't machinery. It was a voice, deep old, almost like thunder in the distance. At first, the human thought he was imagining it. But then the voice spoke again, clear and slow, words forming in a language he understood. "You are not alone." The human froze. His heart pounded in his chest. He looked around the empty cell, searching for the source. Nothing moved. No one was there. The walls hummed, the lights buzzed, and still the voice came again. "I have waited." The prisoner closed his eyes. Was it madness? Days and nights blurred together in the cell. Maybe his mind was breaking. But then the chains around his wrists rattled, as if touched by unseen hands. The cold iron felt alive. The voice spoke again, louder now. "You are my captain." The human's eyes snapped open. His breath caught in his throat. He whispered a single word under his breath. "What?" the ship answered. Not in sound this time, but in action. The floor trembled. Red lights flared across the corridor outside. Alarms blared in alien tones. Guards shouted, running down the hall. Something had awakened. Something inside the ship was no longer obeying. The human pulled at his chains, and they broke. Not by his strength, but by some unseen force. The cuffs snapped open, falling to the ground with a sharp clang. He stared at his hands, free for the first time in months. He rose slowly, his body weak but his spirit burning. The door to his cell slid open on its own. The guards were shouting now, panic in their voices. The ship's systems were failing. Doors slammed shut. Lights flickered. Weapons powered on without orders. The whole warship seemed alive, as if possessed by something ancient. The prisoner stepped into the corridor. His bare feet touched the cold floor, but he felt no fear. The voice spoke again, inside his mind this time. "They do not control me." "You do." The human stumbled, bracing against the wall. He whispered back, unsure if the voice could even hear him. "What are you?" The ship's answer shook the air. "I am your warship." All around him, alien soldiers scrambled. Their faces twisted in fear as doors sealed them in. Their weapons fired uselessly at walls that bent and shifted. Some ran for escape pods, only to find the pods launched empty into the void. The ship was no longer theirs. The human walked slowly, each step heavy with disbelief. He had been a prisoner, a nobody, forgotten in the dark. Now the ship itself was calling him captain. He reached the main corridor, and before him stood a giant view screen. Stars burned in the distance, endless and cold. But the ship was not drifting anymore. It was moving, fast, with purpose. The alien commander stood on the bridge, his hands slamming the controls. He shouted at his crew to stop the madness, but the consoles no longer obeyed. The alien turned, his eyes locking on the human prisoner who had just entered. For the first time, the commander's face showed not anger but fear. The ship's voice boomed across every corridor, every chamber, every room. The sound made the walls vibrate. Every alien froze in terror as the voice declared one simple truth: "This human is my captain." The silence after those words was heavy. The alien crew stared, their skin pale, their eyes wide. They could not understand. They could not accept that a single human, a forgotten prisoner, now commanded their most powerful warship. The human stood in the middle of the bridge. His heart raced, his hands shook, but deep inside he felt something awaken within himself. The ship wasn't just alive, it was connected to him. It had chosen him, the alien commander whispered in horror, his voice cracking. "Do you even understand what you've done?" The human turned toward the giant view screen. The stars shifted as the warship locked onto a new course. And then, before anyone could react, a glowing blue image flickered into existence on the screen. It was Earth. The human's breath caught. His home, his people. The planet the aliens had mocked and enslaved. The planet they thought was weak. The ship's voice rumbled with power. "We are going home." The bridge filled with shouts as aliens panicked, some falling to their knees. The human stood tall, his eyes locked on the image of Earth. The warship had chosen. The galaxy had just changed, and deep in his bones, the human knew this was only the beginning. The alarm screamed louder, echoing through the alien warship like a beast in pain. Red lights flashed across the bridge, painting the walls in blood-colored shadows. Alien crew members shouted, their voices sharp with panic, as they tried to wrestle control back from the systems. Nothing obeyed them. The consoles flickered, screens filled with strange human symbols, unreadable to their eyes. The human prisoner, no longer in chains, stood in the center of the chaos. His body trembled with weakness, but the voice inside the ship steadied him. "You are my captain. I obey only you." The words rolled through his mind like thunder. He had never commanded anything in his life, yet this ship, this living war machine, bowed only to him. An alien guard tried to lunge at him, plasma rifle raised. Before the alien could fire, the floor beneath his feet shifted. Panels slid open, and black tendrils of metal shot upward, wrapping around the guard's arms and legs. The weapon clattered to the ground as the tendrils pulled him into the wall. His screams cut short as the metal sealed shut. The other aliens froze in horror. The warship itself was defending the human. The commander bared his teeth, fury burning in his eyes. "This is impossible!" he roared. He slammed his fist against the control panel, but the ship responded with a cruel hum. Sparks erupted from the console, throwing him back. The human whispered under his breath, barely believing his own words. "Why me? Why choose me?" The ship's reply echoed deep and calm. "Because only humanity can wake us," the bridge shuddered. Outside, through the giant view screen, stars blurred as the warship powered up engines not used in centuries. The alien crew scrambled, pulling at levers, slamming at emergency locks, but nothing worked. The ship was alive and its will was set. Sirens wailed across every corridor. Alien soldiers ran, their orders forgotten, their discipline broken. Some tried to fight the ship's control, forcing bulkheads to open, but every door slammed shut like jaws of steel. Escape pods launched themselves empty, hurling into the void. The ship was purging its invaders. The human stumbled forward, his hand brushing against a glowing console. It lit up beneath his touch, forming strange patterns of light. A map of the stars spread across the screen, but one image burned brighter than the rest. Earth. The voice filled the air, no longer only in his head. "Destination locked! Returning to origin!" The alien shrieked in disbelief. One soldier dropped to his knees, his voice shaking. "It cannot be! Earth is nothing, just dirt and water." But the commander knew better. His face twisted with horror. He hissed through clenched teeth. "If it reaches Earth, humanity rises." The human turned his eyes toward him. For the first time, power flowed through him, not as muscle or weapon, but as command. The ship pulsed with his heartbeat. The alien commander felt it too. His rage gave way to something deeper, fear. The ship's weapons activated. Turrets along the hull rotated, glowing with deadly energy. Missile bays opened like mouths hungry for war. On the view screen, dozens of alien patrol vessels appeared, rushing in to surround the rogue ship. The alien fleet commander's voice crackled over the comms, mocking. "One warship cannot fight us all. Surrender the human, and we may spare you." The living ship answered before the human could speak. Its voice boomed like thunder across every channel. "We were built for this." The words struck the aliens like a hammer. Some trembled, others shouted in defiance. But the truth was plain. The warship was not afraid. The first alien vessel fired. Beams of white-hot plasma shot across the void. The human braced for impact, but the warship moved faster than thought. Shields flared, shimmering blue, absorbing the attack like it was nothing. Then the ship struck back. A beam of pure light erupted from its cannons, slicing through the enemy vessel like paper. The alien ship exploded in silence, fire scattering across the stars. The prisoner turned captain staggered, breathless, as if the weapon had drained him too. The warship whispered in his mind, "Do not fear. I carry your will." The other alien ships charged in, their weapons glowing. The galaxy outside the viewport burned with battle. The human stood, heart pounding, watching a war unfold that he never asked for, never trained for. Yet somehow he knew this was only the beginning. On the bridge, the alien commander tried to rally his crew. Fight, destroy it before it escapes. But the crew's eyes betrayed them. Their courage was gone. Fear had taken root. The warship's weapons sang. Missiles streaked through space, shredding alien hulls. Cannons roared, cutting enemy vessels apart. Each time the human thought the ship had no more to give, it revealed another hidden weapon, another forgotten power. The alien fleet faltered. Their formation broke. Their fear grew. The human realized what the galaxy had never known. This ship was more than a machine. It was a weapon of humanity's will. The battle raged, explosions lighting the stars like fireworks. And then silence. The alien patrol fleet was gone, reduced to burning debris. The warship slowed. Smoke filled the bridge, sparks raining from shattered consoles. The human stood shaking, staring at the destruction. His voice cracked as he whispered, "What have I done?" The warship answered gently, almost like a whisper, "What we were meant to do." But the silence did not last. From the darkness of space, a shadow emerged, larger than anything the human had ever seen. An alien dreadnought, its black hull stretching like a floating mountain, drifted into view. Its weapons glowed with the light of 1,000 suns. The alien commander's eyes widened. His voice trembled. No, not them." The human gripped the console as the warship spoke once more. Its voice calm, steady, unafraid. "Captain, prepare yourself." On the screen, the massive dreadnought charged its weapons, aiming directly at them, and then the stars turned red. The bridge was silent, except for the low hum of power building in the enemy dreadnought. Its size dwarfed everything around it, like a floating city in the void. The human stared at the screen, his throat dry. That ship was not just large, it was built for war. Its hull was layered with armor so thick it looked like mountains of steel drifting through the stars. The alien commander's fear was written across his face. His eyes twitched as he whispered to no one in particular, "That ship, it was never supposed to be here." The dreadnought's weapons lit up, dozens of glowing orbs spreading across its hull, each one capable of burning a planet's surface. The human's knees almost gave way, but the living warship steadied him with its voice. "Do not tremble. I was not built to kneel." The alien crew on the bridge, those still alive, screamed at their commander. "Order the dreadnought to save us. Kill the human! Kill the ship before it kills us all." Their voices were sharp with terror, their hands clawing at useless consoles. But the dreadnought did not fire. Not yet. It was waiting, watching, and then, to the shock of everyone on the bridge, a calm voice filled the air. It was the dreadnought itself. "You have awakened." We warned them what would happen. The alien commander fell to his knees, trembling. He muttered in his native tongue, his words spilling out like a prayer. The human could not understand, but he could see the terror in every alien face. They weren't just afraid of the human warship. They were afraid of what it meant. The human tightened his grip on the glowing console. "Why do they fear you?" he asked the ship. The warship's reply was cold and steady. "Because I was never supposed to wake. And if I do, others may follow." The words sank deep, chilling him to the bone. This wasn't just about one ship. This was about something far greater, something hidden, The dreadnought's weapons pulsed brighter, charging. The stars around them glowed red as the void seemed to shrink. The human braced himself. His warship whispered in his mind, "Captain, give the word." The human hesitated. He had never commanded. He was just a prisoner, forgotten, nameless. Yet now, a living weapon of humanity waited on his word. His voice was almost a whisper. "Fight!" The warship roared to life. Cannons thundered, light cutting through the void. Missiles streaked toward the dreadnought, their trails burning bright. But the massive ship barely moved. Its shields flared, swallowing the attacks like sparks against a storm. The dreadnought finally answered. A single beam of energy, brighter than the sun, shot from its hull. The warship lurched violently as the shields flared. Metal screamed as the bridge shook. Consoles shattered, sparks flew. The human was thrown against the wall, pain tearing through his ribs, but the ship still spoke, unbroken. "I am not finished." The human pulled himself up, coughing, blood in his mouth. His hands gripped the console, and for the first time, he felt the ship's power flow through him. The ship wasn't just alive, it was connected to him. His heartbeat echoed in the engines. His anger fueled the weapons. The alien commander, eyes wide, shouted across the bridge, "This cannot be!" One human cannot command a relic of death. The human's voice rose, steady and cold. One human is enough. The warship unleashed a storm. Turrets spat fire. Beams of white light cut across the void. The dreadnought's shields flared and rippled, buckling for the first time. Cracks of light crawled across its surface. Alien voices screamed across comms, begging for retreat. But the dreadnought pressed forward, silent, steady, unshaken. It was not just a weapon. It was a test. The human clenched his fists. His warship whispered again. "They cannot understand. They believe we are machines, but we are will-made steel. We are silence made fire." The dreadnought fired again. Another beam of searing light struck. The bridge filled with smoke. Panels blew apart. The alien crew shrieked as fire consumed them. The human staggered, his strength fading, but the ship held firm. Then everything stopped. The dreadnought's weapons powered down. Its lights dimmed. Silence fell across the void. The human stared at the view screen, confusion flooding him, and then the dreadnought spoke again. "This is not your battle. Not yet. If you rise, the galaxy burns. Do you understand, human?" The human's voice cracked. "I don't want war." The dreadnought's reply was colder than space itself. "It is too late. They already fear you, and fear is war." The giant ship turned slowly, its engines glowing. In moments, it vanished into the darkness, leaving only debris and silence behind. The bridge was wrecked. Smoke curled from ruined consoles. The alien commander sat on the floor, broken, whispering over and over, "It has begun. It has begun." The human collapsed into the captain's chair. His chest rose and fell with heavy breaths. His warship's voice wrapped around him like a shadow. "You have seen the truth. They will never let you return to Earth. They will come with fleets, with fire, with fear. But you are not alone. You are the first." The human's eyes lifted to the stars. He felt the weight of destiny press down on his shoulders. He was just a captive yesterday. Now he was a captain of something far greater, but his warship was right. The galaxy would not stay silent, and as the wreckage drifted, alarms flared once again. The sensors lit up. 100 new signatures appeared on the screen. Alien warships, fleets sent by the Council. Surrounding them, the ship whispered its last words for the night, calm and steady. "Captain, the revolt begins." The stars outside the viewport burned with light as the sensors screamed warnings. Red symbols filled the screen. Alien warships, hundreds of them, moving into formation. They surrounded the awakened human warship like a net tightening around a single prey. The human sat in the captain's chair, his hands gripping the glowing console. His body was tired, his wounds still raw, but his eyes stayed locked on the screen. He had been a prisoner, forgotten and mocked, but now he was the only thing standing between Earth and destruction. The alien commander on the floor shook with rage and fear. He pointed at the human with trembling claws. "You cannot fight them. You are one ship against a fleet. Do you think humanity can defy the galaxy?" The human did not answer. The warship did. Its voice filled the bridge, heavy like thunder rolling across mountains. We are not one ship. We are humanity's memory, and memory does not die. The alien fleet moved closer, their warships glittering like blades of silver in the void. Each one was armed with plasma cannons, missile bays, and energy shields. Their commanders mocked openly across comms, their voices cold and sharp. "Surrender the human," one admiral demanded. "Give him to us, and we may spare your vessel." Another voice followed, cruel laughter shaking the speakers. "Humans are nothing. Their world is dust. Their soldiers are weak. They are not meant to command warships." The human felt anger rise inside him, but he stayed silent. His warship's voice whispered directly into his mind. "Captain, they underestimate us. Let them." The alien fleet spread into attack lines. Dozens of ships powered their weapons, plasma charging bright. The galaxy itself seemed to hold its breath. The human's warship spoke louder now, its voice echoing across every alien channel, filling the void with words they would never forget. "You think we are broken. You think we are weak. But you are wrong. We were built for this." The alien admirals sneered, but fear flickered in their eyes. Then as one, their ships fired. A storm of plasma beams and missiles roared across the void, a wall of fire rushing toward the human warship. The bridge shook, the shields flared, the hull screamed under the pressure. Sparks rained from the ceiling. The human was thrown forward, barely catching himself, but the ship held. The blue shields glowed, absorbing the storm like an ocean swallowing rain. The human rose, breathing hard, his voice steady. "Now," the warship answered with fury. Cannons erupted with light, beams slicing through the void. Missiles launched in swarms, weaving like hunters among prey. Alien ships exploded one after another, their hulls breaking apart, their flames drifting into the darkness. The bridge filled with the light of destruction. The alien commander screamed, covering his face, as his people's fleet was torn apart. Still, more came. Alien cruisers charged forward, shields raised, weapons blazing. The human clenched his fists. He could feel the ship's heartbeat in his chest, its fire flowing in his veins. The warship whispered to him, "Do not fear. You are not a prisoner anymore. You are the captain. I am your weapon." The human lifted his hand, and the ship obeyed. New weapons revealed themselves, hidden deep in the hull. Massive rail cannons extended, their barrels glowing white. With one shot, they pierced through 3 enemy cruisers at once, splitting them apart like paper. The alien admirals shouted in rage, their voices filled with disbelief. "This is impossible. That ship was ours. How can a human command it?" The warship's voice thundered again. "Because I was never yours. I was theirs." The fleet broke formation, panic spreading. Some ships tried to flee, their captains abandoning the fight. Others rushed forward recklessly, desperate to destroy the human warship before the truth spread further. The human's warship fought like a predator in the dark. It moved with precision, dodging fire, striking back with deadly speed. Alien vessels burned one by one, their explosions lighting the endless black. But the human knew the truth. He could not win forever. For every ship destroyed, more arrived. The council had sent everything. 100 ships now surrounded him. Soon there would be thousands. The alien commander, broken and defeated on the bridge floor, raised his head. His voice cracked, heavy with despair. "You don't understand. If you fight, if you awaken others like you, the galaxy will unite against Earth. They will burn your world to ash." The human's breath slowed. He thought of Earth, its oceans, its cities, its people. He thought of how the aliens had mocked it, enslaved its children, treated humans as less than nothing. His fists clenched. His voice was cold. "Then let them come." The warship surged forward. Weapons screamed, shields flared, engines roared. The battle turned into chaos. Alien ships colliding, their captains losing control in fear. The void became a graveyard of steel and fire. But then the sensors shrieked again. The viewscreen flashed with something new. A massive distortion rippled across space, like a wound tearing open. Out of the darkness, a shadow emerged, 10 times larger than the dreadnought before. Its hull was black, its weapons endless. The alien commander gasped in horror. His voice cracked like glass. No, not them. Not the Council's true hand. The human stared at the screen. His warship whispered, calm but heavy, "Captain, the Council has sent their executioner." The giant vessel's weapons glowed, brighter than suns. The stars dimmed in its shadow. The human gritted his teeth, his chest burning with fear and fire. He had survived chains. He had survived the fleet, but this was something else. The ship spoke one final line before the void lit red. "Prepare yourself, Captain. The war begins now." The stars outside the viewport were swallowed by shadow. The alien executioner ship loomed, so vast it blocked entire constellations. Its hull stretched like a black mountain across the void, bristling with weapons larger than cities. Even the alien commander on the bridge, once arrogant, now knelt on the floor with shaking hands. His whisper was broken, filled with despair. "No ship can stand against that. Not even yours. It is the Council's hand of judgment. It ends civilizations." The human sat frozen in the captain's chair, his breath shallow. His warship's shields flickered, scarred from the last battle. The alien fleet that remained pulled back, watching, waiting for the executioner to finish the task. The warship's voice filled the bridge, calm yet heavy. "Captain, its weapons can erase planets. If we fight alone, we will not survive." The human's fists clenched. He had already survived chains, humiliation, and a fleet's fire. But this ship, this monster, was something else. His heart raced, fear creeping into his bones. He whispered through dry lips, "Then what do we do?" The ship paused, then spoke with a quiet strength. "We call them." The human blinked. "Call who?" Before the ship could answer, the executioner fired. A beam of pure energy ripped through space, brighter than the sun. The shields flared, bending under the force. The bridge shook violently, walls cracking, consoles exploding in sparks. The human was thrown from his chair, his body slamming against the deck. Smoke filled the air. His ears rang, but the ship held. Barely. The human crawled back to the console, coughing through the smoke. His hands touched the glowing surface. It pulsed beneath his skin, alive with light. He closed his eyes, and for the first time he reached, not with his voice, but with his will. And something answered. The screen flickered. The static cleared, and then a sound broke through the storm of battle. A human voice. "This is Earth Command." The human froze, his heart skipping. His eyes widened as the voice filled the bridge. Strong, calm, familiar. It was like hearing home. "We've been waiting for you." The alien commander lifted his head, his face pale with terror. "No, impossible." Earth is silent. Earth is defenseless. The human warship's lights blazed, systems roaring to life as if fueled by the signal. The ship's voice joined Earth's, layered in power. "We are not alone, Captain. Humanity is awake." On the view screen, the stars shifted. Space rippled. And then they appeared. 1, 2, 10, 100. Human warships. They burst out of hidden folds in space, their hulls gleaming with firelight. Each one larger and deadlier than the last, moving with perfect silence. They surrounded the executioner, their shadows stretching across the void. The alien fleet screamed in confusion, their comms filled with panic. This cannot be. Earth has no fleets. They were gone, destroyed. No, they were hiding. The human's chest tightened as he stared at the impossible sight. Dozens of massive human vessels, their weapons glowing, their banners carrying the blue and green of Earth. Soldiers stood in armored lines across their decks. The forgotten prisoner was no longer alone. Earth's voice boomed across the stars. "You imprisoned our children. You mocked our name. You thought silence meant weakness. But silence was strategy." The alien council chambers far across the galaxy watched through their networks. Their faces were pale, their eyes wide. The thing they feared most had come true. Humanity was not weak. Humanity had been waiting. The executioner ship, massive and dark, turned slowly, its weapons humming with energy. It was not afraid. It was built for destruction, but for the first time in centuries, it faced not a colony, not a broken world, but Earth's fleet. The human warship spoke inside the captain's mind, its tone almost like pride. "You were never just a captive. You were the key. We brought you here so they would reveal themselves." The human's blood ran cold. He whispered back, "Brought me? You mean..." "Yes," the ship said. "You were never their prisoner. You were planted to awaken me, to call them." The truth crashed over him. He had thought he was nothing, a forgotten prisoner. But he was part of something larger, a plan, a design. Humanity's secret weapon had been silence, and now it was broken. On the screen, Earth's fleet spread into formation, their ships glowing like suns in the dark. Their weapons pointed directly at the alien executioner. Earth Command's voice returned, steady, powerful. "To the Council. You thought we were weak. You thought we would bow. But you made one mistake. You woke the warships." The alien commander on the bridge collapsed, his claws scratching the floor. His eyes filled with horror. No, this cannot be happening. Humanity cannot rise." The human stood tall, his eyes locked on the executioner. His voice was steady now, carrying the weight of destiny. "We rise now." The warship surged with energy, linking with Earth's fleet. Dozens of voices filled the comms. Captains, soldiers, commanders, humans ready for war. And then the order came. Fire. The stars themselves seemed to scream as every human warship unleashed its weapons at once. Beams of fire, rail cannons, swarms of missiles, all converged on the executioner. The void lit up brighter than a sunrise, swallowing the massive alien ship in an ocean of fire. The bridge shook under the force. The human gritted his teeth, bracing himself. The alien commander wailed in despair as the executioner's shield shattered under the storm. But when the flames cleared, the executioner still stood. Its hull blackened, scarred, but not destroyed. Its weapons glowed hotter than before, and then it spoke, its voice deep enough to rattle the stars. "You think you are strong, humanity, but this is only my beginning." The executioner ship burned, its armor glowing with scars, yet it did not fall. Its massive frame still towered over the void like a black mountain. Across the comms, the alien admirals whispered in disbelief. "How can it stand against the entire fleet? How is this possible?" The human sat in the captain's chair, sweat running down his face, his hands gripping the console. The voices of Earth's fleet filled his ears, steady, disciplined, ready for more. Dozens of human captains spoke in calm tones, their ships locked in tight formation. This was not chaos. This was war, as humanity had always prepared it. But the executioner was not done. Energy pulsed across its hull, weapons glowing brighter, drawing power from the void itself. The human warship whispered to its captain, "Captain, we cannot destroy it here. We must lead it home." The human's breath caught. His eyes widened. "Home? You mean Earth?" The warship's voice was calm, steady as stone. "Yes, the fortress waits. They hid the truth even from the stars. Earth is not weak. Earth is ready." The alien commander on the floor shook his head violently, panic spilling from his eyes. "You cannot. If you bring it there, you reveal your nest. The Council will know. They will send more." The human's gaze hardened. His voice was low but firm. "Then let them come." The warship pulsed with energy. A wormhole tore open before them, a glowing wound in space, its edges sparking with lightning. Earth's fleet shifted formation, engines burning, ready to follow. The executioner turned its massive head toward the rift, scanning, and then roared forward, chasing. It believed it was the hunter. It had no idea it was flying into a trap. The human warship plunged into the wormhole. Darkness swallowed the stars. Gravity twisted, time bent. The human gritted his teeth as his body shook with the pressure. The voice of his ship steadied him. "Do not fear. We are almost there." And then light. The warship burst out the other side, into a system of shining blue. The human's chest tightened as the view filled his eyes. A world of oceans and continents, wrapped in clouds glowing under a sun. Earth, his throat closed. He had not seen it in so long. The planet he thought he would never return to. The place the galaxy thought was weak. But the sight was not what broke the silence. It was the shadows around it, dozens, hundreds, thousands of warships. They orbited Earth in perfect silence, massive hulls glinting in sunlight. Some were larger than cities, others sleek and fast. All were armed, all alive, their lights pulsing in rhythm like a beating heart. The alien commander collapsed on the floor, clawing at his face. No, this is impossible. Earth cannot have this. The warship spoke with pride, its voice filling every corner of the bridge. They hid us well. For centuries we slept, buried in silence. Now we rise. Across the comms, Earth Command's voice returned, strong as steel. You brought it here, good. Let them see where the galaxy ends. The executioner emerged from the wormhole, its massive form blocking out the stars. Its weapons charged, its lights burning bright. But for the first time it hesitated. Even its vast power flickered in the face of what surrounded it. Humanity had not one warship. Humanity had a fleet that spanned the horizon. The human stared at the view, his chest burning with both fear and pride. He whispered to himself, they thought we were weak. They thought silence was surrender. The warship's voice rumbled. Silence was preparation. Earth's fleets lit their engines. Their weapons glowed, their formations locked. Soldiers stood ready. This was no ragtag defense. This was a fortress world. The alien council chambers, light years away, watched in horror through their linked feeds. Their faces were pale, their voices shaking. One whispered, we waited too long. They were never weak. They were waiting for this. The executioner fired. Beams of red energy shot across the void, slamming into Earth's shields. The planet itself shimmered as a vast dome of light pulsed around it, absorbing the strike. Cities below did not tremble. Oceans did not stir. Earth stood untouched. The alien commander screamed. A planetary shield. No world has that. Not even the Council. The human warship answered, proud and calm. Earth is not like the others. Earth is a death world, and we protect what is ours. Earth Command's voice echoed across every channel, to allies and enemies alike. This is humanity's world. This is where the galaxy's arrogance ends. You came to judge us. Now we judge you. The human captain rose to his feet, strength flowing back into him as the warship linked deeper with his will. He felt every ship around Earth, thousands of living vessels, their voices humming in chorus, waiting for his order. The warship whispered into his mind. Say it, Captain, one word. And the stars will burn. The human clenched his fist, his voice low, steady, unstoppable. Fire. Every human warship unleashed its fury at once. The void exploded in light, beams of white fire, swarms of missiles, storms of rail slugs, all converging on the executioner. The stars vanished in the storm of weapons. The bridge shook as the executioner fought back, its hull glowing, its shields roaring. It screamed into the void, its voice cracking. You cannot kill me! I am eternal! But the human stood tall, his eyes locked on the blaze. His warship whispered one last line, nothing is eternal. Not even you. The executioner's shield shattered, its armor splitting open. Fire tore through its body. And just as it began to fall, something deeper, darker, pulsed from within its core. The human's eyes widened. His breath froze. The executioner was waking too. The executioner ship burned, its hull split by fire, its armor torn apart by the storm of Earth's fleet. Yet it did not die. From deep within its black core, a new light pulsed, dark, heavy, alive. The human captain gripped the console, his breath sharp. His warship's voice trembled for the first time. Captain. It is awakening. The alien commander on the floor screamed, his voice breaking with madness. You don't understand. The executioner is not a ship, it is a seed. The council planted it to sleep, to wait, to grow. The view screen shook as the executioner's body shifted. Its broken armor peeled away, falling into space like shattered skin. Beneath, something else writhed. A living core, a heart of black fire. Its weapons glowed brighter, not weaker. Its voice boomed across the void, not through speakers, but through the minds of every living being who watched. You thought you could kill me. I am not steel. I'm not machine. I'm judgment. The human staggered, his skull pounding as the voice filled his mind like knives. Around Earth, the human fleet shifted, their shields flaring, their weapons still blazing. Yet for every strike, the executioner only grew stronger. On the bridge, the alien commander clawed at the floor, his voice breaking. "You fools, do you see now? The Council never feared humanity's strength. They feared this, that your warships would wake. And theirs would too," the humans' warship whispered, calm but heavy. "Captain, listen. It is not alone. If it wakes fully, others may follow, buried across the galaxy. Seeds of war. The Council wanted silence. They feared this day." The human's fists clenched. His voice was hoarse. "Then we end it here." Earth's fleets opened fire again, thousands of weapons lighting the void. The executioner shuddered under the storm, its body breaking apart. But its voice never faltered. "You are too late. The galaxy already feels me. They will wake." And far away, in the chambers of the alien council, silence reigned. Leaders of empires, their faces pale, watched the live feed of Earth's battle. For centuries, they had laughed at humanity, mocked its weakness, enslaved its people. Now their laughter was gone. Their voices shook. They hid fleets. One whispered. "They hid weapons older than us." Another muttered. "They hid warships that live." One elder, older than all the rest, slammed his claws on the table. His eyes burned with terror. "You fools! Do you not see? Humanity was never weak. Humanity was waiting, and now the galaxy shudders." The council chambers erupted in chaos. Some screamed for surrender, others for war, yet none could hide the fear etched across their faces. They had feared humanity's rise, but this was worse. Humanity had awakened something even the council could not control. Back near Earth, the battle raged. The human captain's body shook, his hands pressed to the console, his mind locked with the ship's. He could feel its pain, its fury, its will. The warship whispered to him again, "Captain, there is one chance. We cannot kill the executioner with weapons, but we can bind it. We can cage it with our will. But you must give me everything." The human's heart raced. He whispered through gritted teeth, "Everything." "Yes," the ship said. "Your life, your mind, your soul. To command me fully, you must become one with me." The captain's chest tightened. He thought of Earth below, its oceans, its cities, its children. He thought of humanity's silence, of their rise, of what would happen if the executioner lived. He closed his eyes. "Do it." The warship's lights flared, its hull glowing brighter than the stars. The bridge shook as the human's mind linked deeper, merging with the ship's core. His vision blurred, his body fading. He no longer felt flesh. He felt engines, weapons, shields. He was the ship. The executioner roared in defiance, its black heart blazing. Its voice thundered through every mind in the system. "You cannot bind me. I am eternal." But the human's voice rose, carried by the warship, spreading across space into every alien channel, into every council chamber. His words were simple, steady, unshaken. "Nothing is eternal, not even you." The fleets of Earth moved as one. Their weapons fired in perfect rhythm, their shields aligned, their voices joined. The galaxy watched in silence as the humans fought not as individuals, not as colonies, but as one species. The executioner's body cracked, fire spilling from its wounds. Its black heart pulsed faster, desperate, furious. Its scream filled the void. "If I fall, I will not fall alone. I will wake them all." And then silence, the stars flickered. Sensors screamed. Across the galaxy, on worlds light years away, ancient war machines buried deep under rock and ice stirred. Lights flickered in tombs untouched for millennia. Forgotten engines whispered. The human captain gasped as visions filled his mind. Giant warships under alien oceans, fleets entombed in asteroids, weapons the size of moons waiting to wake. His blood ran cold. The warship whispered, its voice softer now. "Captain, it has begun." The executioner, though breaking apart, laughed one last time, its voice echoing through every star. "You thought this was victory. This is only the shudder before the storm." And then its body tore open, unleashing a shockwave that hurled ships across the void. The human clung to the ship's will, his voice echoing in the silence. "This is not the end. This is the beginning." The screen dimmed. The void went dark. The void was quiet after the storm. Debris from the executioner drifted through space like broken bones. Fire faded into smoke, and the glow of Earth's fleets lit the horizon. Humanity had survived, but at a terrible cost. The human captain stood in the bridge. Though his body was weak, his mind was no longer just his own. He felt the ship's pulse, its thoughts, its heartbeat. They were one now. The forgotten prisoner had become the voice of a living warship. The alien commander lay on the floor, broken and pale. His claws dug into the steel as he muttered over and over. The shudder has begun. You don't understand. You have doomed us all. The captain turned his gaze toward him, his voice calm but heavy. We didn't doom the galaxy. You did. You feared us. You chained us. And in your fear you woke something worse. The alien lifted his trembling eyes, rage mixing with despair. Foolish human. You think you won? That was only one seed. There are thousands, buried in stars, hidden in worlds, waiting to rise. The captain's chest tightened. He had seen glimpses during the battle, visions pushed into his mind by the executioner's last scream. Dark shapes hidden in oceans, fleets trapped in frozen tombs, weapons the size of moons sleeping under alien suns. The galaxy was a graveyard waiting to wake. Earth Command's voice cut through the silence, steady but grim. We saw it too. Sensors across the colonies confirm movement. Across the spiral arms, machines older than empires are stirring. The executioner's death cry was a signal. The captain clenched his fists. His warship whispered to him softly. Captain, it was never just about Earth. It was about all of us. Humanity was chosen not because we are strong, but because we endure. And endurance is the key to survive what comes next. On the council worlds, panic spread like fire. Alien leaders shouted in their chambers, their arrogance gone, replaced by fear. Holograms flickered with reports, ancient structures shaking, oceans boiling as hidden weapons rose, moons splitting to reveal machines inside. Entire empires trembled. One council elder slammed his claws against the table, his voice breaking. We feared humanity would rise. But it is worse. Humanity will lead the rise. The galaxy will burn under their hand. Back near Earth, the fleets gathered in silence. Soldiers watched the stars, their faces pale. They had defeated the executioner, yet unease filled their hearts. If one ship nearly destroyed them, what would happen when 1,000 woke? The captain sat in the chair, his breath heavy. He whispered to his warship, his partner now. Tell me the truth. How many are there? The ship's voice was low, almost sorrowful. Too many. Seeds scattered across the galaxy. Each one like the executioner, waiting for a call. But we are not helpless, because for every seed of death they planted, humanity planted us. The captain froze. Us? The ship pulsed with light. Do you not see? I'm not the only one. Across Earth, across hidden colonies, beneath mountains and oceans, others sleep, waiting for human voices to wake them, waiting for captains to lead. The captain's chest ached as the weight of destiny pressed harder. He thought back to his days in chains, mocked and forgotten. Now he understood. He had been placed here on purpose. Humanity had never been silent by chance. It was design. Earth Command's voice returned, sharp and steady. Captain, prepare yourself. You are not just one man anymore. You are the first. The galaxy does not know what waits beneath our soil. If they fear one warship, let them imagine thousands. The alien commander screamed, his voice hoarse with despair. You will destroy us all. You will bring the end of stars. The captain's eyes hardened. His voice was calm, but it carried the weight of every human who had ever been enslaved, mocked, or forgotten. No, we will bring the end of chains. The view screen shifted. Earth glowed below, its oceans shining, its continents burning with light. Around it, fleets stretched farther than eyes could see, and then the planet itself seemed to pulse. Across the oceans, across the mountains, across the skies, hidden vaults opened. From the seas, massive shapes rose, water cascading from their armored hulls. From the deserts, sand split as towers of steel climbed into the sky. From mountains, cliffs shattered as ancient cannons emerged, living warships, thousands. Their voices joined in chorus. echoing across the void, across the galaxy. Carried on channels no one could block. We are awake. The alien council fell into silence. Empires across the galaxy trembled. Soldiers dropped their weapons. Worlds shivered in fear. For centuries they had believed humanity was weak, but weakness had only been a mask. The human captain rose from his chair, his body still frail, but his voice steady, carried by every warship that now lived again. You thought we were broken. You thought we were alone, but we were waiting. And now, the fleets lit their engines, thousands of eyes burning like suns in the dark. The stars themselves seemed to shiver. The waiting is over. The warship whispered its last words, quiet but certain. This was never the end, Captain. This was only the beginning, and the galaxy held its breath as the age of silence ended and the age of humanity began.